who had indicated that Murray had passed away last month. And at that point, I told my colleague that that was probably the day that I had called, and that's why there was seemingly a lot of upset and hysteria during that phone call.
Okay, so it was at least a month after the fact that you learned that Murray Cohen had died that day?
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, my recollection.
Okay. The first time that you called Murray Cohen's house, you just gave testimony that a Hispanic woman answered the phone hysterically.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Did she sound like someone that had just been woken from a sleep?
Absolutely not.
Ms. Cohen has given deposition testimony in connection with some estate litigation. And I want to read her testimony to you and ask you some questions about it.
Okay.
Now, before we go on, have you ever seen this deposition, or have I ever read this deposition testimony to you?
I've seen the deposition.
You've actually seen the deposition transcript of Maria Cohen where she talks about what happened that day?
No, I'm so sorry. What I saw was the recount from the detective in Sarasota County.
Okay, so you've never seen the deposition?
No.
All right. I'm going to read to you from portions of the deposition.
Okay.
And as I go through this, I may have some questions for you.
Okay.
And I'm reading starting on page 61 of the deposition transcript. Question. As I understand your testimony, you were lying in bed next to Mr. Cohen when you heard the phone ring. Is that correct? Answer. Yes. Question. You then got up and went to the kitchen. Answer. Yes. Question. When you went to the phone, you answered it. Answer. That's what I said. Question. Okay. Who was on the phone? Answer. I don't remember who was on the phone, but it was a male. Question. And who was the phone call for? Answer. My husband. Question. And what did you do? Answer. I asked the person if it was an urgent call, and he said yes. He had an appointment over the phone with my husband. And there was a clock right in front of me, and I looked at it, and it was 5:38. Sir, did that conversation take place during the first phone call that you made to Murray Cohen's residence?
No.
On January 13, 2003?
No.
In fact, you testified earlier that all she did was cry. She didn't say a word. Is that true?
That's correct.
So, was the testimony that she gave, that I just read to you, was that untruthful?
I believe it to be, yes.
I'm going to continue reading from the transcript. Question. What did you do, ma'am, after you noticed the clock said 5:38? Answer. I tried to wake up my husband. I went back to the bedroom to try to wake him up. Question. And then what happened, ma'am? Answer. I tried to shake him, thinking that he was in a deep sleep. I then put the lights on quickly, and I looked at him, and the first thing I noticed was that his forehead was kind of turning purple. And so I know I had to call the police for help. But the phone was in the kitchen. The other person was on the line. So I went to the kitchen, and I simply hung it up. And as I was running to the bedroom to call from there, again the phone rang. So I answered it quickly. And it was the same person. He said, ma'am, I was waiting. And I said, please don't call. There's an emergency in my house. And I ran to the bedroom, and I was still trying to shake him and wake him up. I called the police. Sir, with regard to the testimony that she gave in connection with the second call, was that accurate?
No, it was not.
And what was inaccurate? What was untruthful about what her testimony was in relation to the second phone call?
Well, the first thing was that she never said, I don't recall ever hearing her say, there's an emergency in the house. The only thing that I recall hearing her say was, Murray can't come to the phone right now. And she said that in a sort of a half whimper, half crying manner. And during that point, when she was speaking to me, my recollection is that I heard screaming, a male voice screaming in the background, and that's why I asked the question, is everything okay? And she said yes.
That's inconsistent with the testimony that I just read to you?
Yes, completely.
Now, her testimony was that she hung up on you, ran to the bedroom, picked up the phone to call 911, and then you called again. Wasn't there a couple of minutes delay between your phone calls?
Yes, there was, because as I said, I didn't recognize that I was calling the home of Murray Cohen because of the nature of the phone call, so I had to go back to my phone records, get the phone number, and then make the call again, a second time.
Mr. Beninati, were you ever interviewed by the Sarasota Sheriff's Office in connection with this matter?
Yes.
Was that in the same calendar year that the death occurred, 2003?
Yes.
And do you remember the detective that you spoke with?
I believe it was Detective Hallisey.
Okay. And you spoke with him either, once or twice that year?
Yes.
Did you ever speak with him or anyone with the Sarasota Sheriff's Office after the calendar year 2003?
No.
Did you ever talk to anyone with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Not to my recollection, no.
Or FBI?
No.
And have you spoken with anyone from any governmental agency, whether it be the Sarasota Sheriff's Office, FDLE, FBI, or any other agency since 2003?
No, I have not.
There was were you, strike that, were you aware that there was a review ordered in this matter by Governor Jeb Bush in approximately 2004 or 2005?
I was aware from speaking with Steve Esdale.
Okay. And Governor Bush charged FDLE with investigating this, and FDLE did an investigation in approximately 2005. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Did they ever contact you?
No.
I've shared with you the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office investigative report that was prepared by Detective Hallisey in connection with this matter, and it looks like it was created March 4, 2004. Have you had an opportunity to review that document?
Yes, I have.
And did you notice any inaccuracies in that document?
Yes, several.
Okay. And if you don't mind, go through the inaccuracies that you noticed while reviewing the document that we're discussing.